Just make sure all the party things are all good. Party chat, always. Righto.
So I'll take the secondary approach and just be like, your lead, Snake.
Yeah.
You can do the grid walk. Your all famous grid walk.
It's not my famous grid walk, it's Martin's grid walk, and I'm not called Martin. Of course.
Alright, so here we go. Round 18 of the Green League. Here we are at Circuit of the Americas. 20 turns and 5.5 kilometers of some of the most notoriously bumpy and suspension-killing racetrack in the world of Formula One. It's another Tilcadrome! Yay. We all love Tilcadromes. We all love Tilca circuits. Can't have enough of them these days. As we are going to go on to Q1, I think there were 17 drivers in the end. I think it was 17. 3, 6, 9. Yep, 17. So it's not too bad. At least Q1 will mean something. At least Q1 will mean something.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, so that means only 2 drivers will only get knocked out in Q1, like it was in Japan a few weeks back, and I don't know what happened after that. But yeah, USA. Taking a user aspect of commentating for qualifying for the US Grand Prix. With only some drivers now learning no traction, as they have now implemented the new rules. I guess you guys were talking about it in the last race about the no traction. So yeah, second race there, some people might have ever done it in a 50%er. So let's see if they've improved from the last race when they actually try and do it. As Q1 is underway.
Still nobody coming out quite just yet. They're all still fine-tuning their setups. As we have a Toro Rosso coming out, I believe that's semi-pro. Always seems to be first out.
Let's hope Walkboy actually gets out of Q1.
Yeah, Q1 in Mexico. That was quite the shambles, to say the least. To have the drivers' champion not being able to set a lap time at all, invalidating every single time, resulting in him starting from dead last. Let's see if our defending champion can actually be a bit more competitive here in qualifying. But then again, as it was in Mexico, this track is very easy to invalidate a lap time, particularly through the first sector, through the S's section that is incredibly reminiscent of the Maggots and Beckett's section at Silverstone. It's very easy to cut the track, get a warning and invalidate your lap time.
Yes, anti-clockwise of course, so more lefts than rights around here. And obviously 20 turns, and some reminiscence from tracks from the past. Like you mentioned Maggots and Beckett's in the first sector, and I think Turkey in turn 8 in the last sector. But yeah, a very technical track. One of those tracks where overtaking is possible. Few side-by-side action, and usually it should be good. But it is very hard on its tyres. Especially on the soft tyres, it's quite tricky. It's very tricky to manage them. Once you get onto the mediums are hard, depending on how you feel. It's then where you feel a bit more comfortable, but yeah. But no, everyone just on the outlaps.
Semi-Pro is now starting his first flying lap. I'll ride on board with him just to show you what the track is like. We're coming up into the Maggots and Beckett's section now. It is incredibly reminiscent of Maggots and Baggots. It's almost identical. A bit more fast and a bit more flowing perhaps, but in summary it's quite similar. Completing sector 1, coming into turn 9, now into the fast left-hander of turn 10, into turn 11, into the second DRS zone of the racetrack. Probably an overtaking opportunity perhaps into turn 11, but I believe the majority of the overtaking will happen into turn 1 and turn 12 after the DRS zones. A lot of the rest of the track is quite sort of follow the leader stuff. You might be, as you said, Dougie, you might see a bit of side-by-side action, particularly early in the race, but as the race goes on and the gaps start to spread, we might just see sort of follow the leader stuff, particularly through sector 3. Coming into Turkey's turn 8, multi-apex right-hander, full throttle. Oh, and semi-pro runs wide there. I don't think that will invalidate the time. Into turn 20. Oh, and he just stops that up just a little bit. Doesn't invalidate his time, though.
Yeah, it was validated time. So it was 0. It wasn't his cleanest lap. Locked up in the end of the DRS from turn 12 and went wide, as you mentioned, in the second last corner. Went wide and probably lost a few tenths there. So, as you see the times tumbling down, Toes really does a 33.5. Kind of compounding the fact that semi-pro didn't really do a good lap, but still time left. Still 13 minutes left. You can always do another run, so it's not a big deal for him. So at the moment, but 33.5 so far is as fastest lap.
Seems like people is about to finally go through.
He does, but invalidates.
Invalidates.
Yeah, he invalidates. He does.
Oh no, this is Mexico all over again. No! Oh god, if this happens twice. Oh.
Solid urethra. Salted goes fastest 33.1, so we're close to the 32s now. In this first part of Q1.
Now, is this a circuit that either of you two particularly like? Dougie Falcons or Alcatraz?
I'll let Dougie go first on this one.
I like it, but I don't like it at the same time. It's not my favorite personally, but it's a bit too corner cutty. The strictness in the corner cutting on this track is a bit strict. Practica's fastest 33.0, and Huda Magic goes a 32.3. Wow. But yeah, it's not one of my favorite. Not one of my favorites, but it's alright.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Like, it's not one of the tracks that I look forward to on the calendar. It's a very rhythm track. If you get out of sync any time during any of the sectors, you either lose time or you get a bunch of corner cutting infringements. Like, I did a race before and I had 27 seconds worth of penalties, so it just shows how much I don't really like this track.
Yeah, I have to agree with you too. It is a very flowy sort of racetrack. It's also a sort of a meh circuit.
It's a bit of a mesh with of all the other really they grabbed everything good about every other track, but then again you can't slap all these good bits and expect to be a good track because there's not a lot of peak areas to overtake. You do have the back straight with the DRS, but that's mainly it. Unless you want to do a couple of dive bombs here and there, but yeah, very I'm
just about to say, Wogboy is definitely going into Q2. A 1 minute 31.6. He is 7/10, almost more. Yeah, no, 7/10, about 7/10 of a second quicker than Huta Magic on that lap. So I think he's right for Q1. I don't think he needs to set another lap time.
Yeah, that's good. He's definitely got his is it traction control that's been disabled?
So from Mexico, traction control has been disabled. This is the last race in the calendar where ABS is allowed to use. It be removed from the driver's arsenal. So Brazil might be a very interesting one to watch indeed. A couple of drivers on their out laps now, all starting to come out. But yeah, that's when the regulations are set to come in during Brazil. Then we'll have it and Abu Dhabi to look forward to. Well, actually, more just looking forward to Brazil, because we all know Abu Dhabi is just going to be an absolute ball fest. So.
Well, yes, but that would be boring. But yeah, it should be. I mean, it's interesting to know that this is going to be the last race for ABS. Very, very interesting to see what Abu Dhabi will hold for next week, because it could shake up the field. To be honest, I don't think it will shake up the field that much, because you could probably find time again, your same pace that you were running at the beginning. But it's good to see that it is going forward into the point where there's no ABS, and eventually go through the full no assist. It's good to see that they're adopting it. But as the sessions progress, more people are coming out for their outlaps. And they're right here, right now. And at the moment, half the drivers in the grid haven't you set a valid lap time. So at the moment in the drop zone, we've got Breno and Papa G, who yet to set a lap time. 16th and 17th, and they would be the ones at the moment eliminated as well.
As Pure Gold, he's one of the drivers who hasn't set a lap time. He's just about to come around and complete his first flying lap. He goes P4, 32.7. He's in that top 5 region, but at the moment, Wog Boy, that's an absolutely massive margin he's got at the moment. 7/10. Now, are you guys expecting the drivers in Q2 to qualify on the mediums or on the soft compound tyre?
If it was like last week, if they've got the pace on the tyre, I believe they will go for the medium compound. Like we had 4 runners last week start on the mediums in the top 4. So I believe that if they do have the opportunity, I think they will take it. I feel like they will. If they do set a really good time, they might go for that strategy. Because it is just a medium to soft type of circuit.
I agree. You could do both strategies where you start the medium and then you would probably go long to the soft. I feel like some may do that. I feel like for the sake of track position, and it is quite difficult to overtake, even though there are like it's a big long straight and maybe a side-by-side action 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. But yeah, it could be a one-stop soft medium, or you can go medium soft, or you can go soft hard if you're struggling the most or if you're caught up in any instances. That's basically what we're kind of looking at in Q2 once we get there.
I should actually pay mention to, there's one thing that I have forgotten. There's one driver missing from this lineup, and he is the teammate to safety car, the McLaren driver, Conehouse. He's copped a race ban after his incident with Wogboy in Mexico. Now, I unfortunately didn't get to see it live on stream, but I got to see it afterwards through Alcatraz, and oh my goodness me, that was a crash and a half.
Wogboy was absolutely destroyed, and I'm kind of surprised that the Very Lazy Towel actually just skimmed it and dodged both Conehouse and the wall. Like, it was millimeters from both. So him scaving away from that showed him Towel's luck, but unfortunately the driver's champion got caught up in Conehouse's fanatics in Sector 1.
And got absolutely destroyed because of it. Did he actually explain why?
I believe he paused and the AI
drove onto the
took
track.
over. So his car was already stopped on the track, but because he paused, the AI took over and accelerated at a poor time, and unfortunately Wogboy was caught up in the incident. So
oh dear.
Very Lazy Towel just bailed out of his lap. He's only got 5 minutes left.
I have actually noticed that Dermy He was on 3-lap-old soft compound tyres. He has been struggling to set a lap time, and with 5 minutes to go, it's fairly close for him at the moment. Try
Yeah,
and get out of Q1.
Yeah, I think they just have to play it safe. Like Bartas has just done a 1:36, so as long as they make any time, really, I think they're through.
You'd think that, but then at the same time, like, you don't want to be doing a
Super
136 and then everyone else just sets a lap that happens to be. I say to be safe, you need to be
At least get a bank lap. Yeah.
Yeah, a mid 33 would be safe. Like at least where fourth equations is basically where you need to be considered safe. So Bartas does need to improve that lap if he wants to be in Q2 so second. And yeah, we'll be able to see what happens then. But Dermy Papaji on out laps right now, as Papaji is in lap. So
Smoke Grass has just jumped out of the bubble. He was in 15th place. He's now up into 8th. As you said, a mid 33, and he's jumped up quite a number of positions. I believe you're right. Drivers around that bubble from P14 down to P17, they definitely need to be setting around about a mid 33 in order to be safe.
Yeah, as Jeremy is about to start his lap, so I might as well go on board with him for a bit. As he starts a lap around the US Grand Prix. So, gets a good exit from that corner. Breaks early, but hits the apex nicely, neat and tidy. Gets a good run through turn 2. Then the fast exit session of 3, 4, 5, all clean and dandy. Changing aggressively, but slows down quite a lot, but just doing enough. Just about. Comes down to the turn 11. Gets a bit of a time slapper, but corrects it enough in time, so he has a good exit there. Continues down the straight. DRS is on, going max revs, max everything. Brakes down to second gear. Hits the apex quite nicely, gets a good run. Did a 37.6 middle sector, which is enough at the moment. 2/10 down from his fastest. Brakes late for 16. Just gets the apex right, loses it back a little bit. Through the quad apex 17, and he nailed it quite well. Goes a bit wide on entry for 18 and now 19. It's a very clumsy corner, but gets it through. And what does he do? 133.5. So that's bang on what we thought would be safe. Well, I thought would be safe.
You were bang on. We don't have a damn clue what we're talking about.
Because Bartas did improve his time at the end.
He did.
So that's good.
He's around Dermy's and Smokegrass's time, who were all in that bubble. And at the moment,
hopefully he actually sets a time, because this is his last chance.
Yeah, Towel has to set a lap time as well. And he cuts it. He cuts the corner. I don't know.
And he's invalidated. Yeah.
Has he invalidated? Yeah, he has.
Yeah,
he cut the corner.
His ERS to 0. He's gonna save those tyres and just do one more trip.
He's got one more attempt, or else he would be knocked out of the line. And Papa G's about to start his lap, see if he can knock out semi-pro.
Sector 1. Nice. Nice.
Ooh.
Going safe. Oh no, not so nice.
Missed the apex.
Yeah, that's the rhythm I'm talking about. Yeah, that's the rhythm.
He just, fluffed it in the first part. Wasn't that great, and then tried to like hold on, hang on, and then his car just grip up at all. But he still can salvage it. Still salvage it, I don't know.
Ooh.
And back in.
Chevron has been spun round at turn 11. Oh, so he had a P7. That's alright, don't need to worry about him.
So this is Towel's last attempt.
Yes, it is.
Trying to get through into Q2.
It does look like he's got a low fuel, so he might have one lap of fuel left. So hopefully he's good enough. He's got enough fuel in the tank.
Now, are you guys seeing that Papa G is only on an out lap, or is he on a flying lap?
I think he's on the flying lap.
Yeah,
He's coming into the last corner.
Where does he go?
He
still a
is
knockout.
out of
8
He
tenths
is
slower,
out.
yeah.
so it's just Towel left.
He's now
There
coming
is
into
a
turn
Red Bull behind
11.
him.
Oh, he's missed the apex there. by
That
an
Red
absolute
Bull's going to get
mile.
a nice slipstream.
Yeah, false equations. He's also trying to secure himself. But he's more or less safe, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he's just, he's safe. Oh no.
Now into the tight and twisty sector 3. No traction control, it might be easy to spin around here in these lower speed corners.
This is his personal best in the middle sector, 37.7, which is a tenth slower, but he loses it. I think he ran out
Oh
of fuel.
my goodness me, what happened to him?
I think he ran out of fuel.
Oh, he has too. It just looked
Looks
like,
like-
from the view that I had, that false equations ran into him. But yeah,
Thought so. When he started that lap, he was at red, yeah. So, the two people knocked out.
Papa G and the very lazy towel. Yeah, oh dear.
Yeah. 33.8 was what you needed to get in. 34.8 was knocked out, and Mogwai sets the fastest time. 31.6. So sets an early marker for Q2 and potentially for pole position. So it's really a respectable P2 as well. In P2 with 32.2, only 6 tenths off. So early days, very early days, but you never know.
So, the end of Q1. Slightly eventful session, not as much as the sheer chaos of Mexico, but a good one nonetheless. Papa G and Very Lazy Tao have been eliminated from Q1. Papa G having that massive slide in Sector 1. Very much what ruined his lap. He lost a lot of time. Here are the results for Q1. Wogboy first by 0.6 of a second. Is that an indication of how quick he really is around this track, or it's just Q1? These guys, they're not pushing at 100% yet. They still got a lot more to give. Hopefully it's the second one. I don't want Wogboy to just simply walk away with this. Huta Magic in P3. We'll go all the way back down to the bottom. Papa G, 3.1 seconds down on that time. Very Lazy Towel, after running out of fuel, will not set a lap time, and he will start from dead last, and he's going to be enjoying that a lot. Not really, he's going to be absolutely furious right now. As we now start Q2.
We do. Q2 on the way, and so everyone knows that you set your tyres, whatever your fastest lap in the top 10, will start on those tyres. So, be interesting to see what people would run in their first run.
Is Semi-Pro going to be the first driver out? It looks like it. Or is it his teammate? No, it's his teammate. This time, Barters is the first driver out. It's always one of the two Toro Rossos, it seems, in these race weekends.
Yeah. And it's Bardas who gets out earliest. I remember watching him in Japan. He did a really good race. It was P3 for most of that, and then finished P5, I believe, P6. So he had a solid race then. I don't know what happened in Mexico. Because I wasn't there, so I have no idea how well he did. But he's looking to improve on his qualifying time.
You can see a couple of drivers have decided to go out immediately on the medium compound tyre. We got Chevron, Salted, Dermy, and Breno, all of them on the medium tyre. And Hooter Magic, he's still in the pit lane, however.
Yeah, you got some of the top runners running soft tires like Bogboy, and it's Pure Gold as well, I believe. He's also on the soft tire. Yes, so Pure Gold, Bogboy, Barters, Corrupted, Equations, Gritty, Semi-Pro, all on the soft tire. So, yeah, it's been like a mix of strategies are in play for the first part of this Q2. But I guess we'll go on Barters up, see how well he goes. Since he's the first one to cross first. And climb up to turn 1, and again, neat and tidy, like I was saying, but takes a lot of curb into turn 2, and then opens up the corner for turn 3, 4 and 5 very well. Takes a wide entry, trying to open up the corner again for 6 and 7. I think he can. No, good. Still going, and takes the downhill section for turn 11. There's a lot of wheel spin coming up the exit. Backhand side sticking out, but gets going anyway through the straight and the long climb to turn 12, second DRS straight. Brakes at the 50 meter, locks up a little bit, but hits the apex well. Goes a little bit wide, misses the apex a bit there, and then 13, 14 comes right at you. 15, 16 just hits it very well, and then it's a long 17 quad apex. It's a little bit wide, but has a strong final part to the lap. Comes down to the last corner. Short shift to across the line, just a bit of city corner, and 33.3. Which was about the second half of what we were used to, so it's not a great lap.
Smoke Grass is the next car to cross the line, a 33.9. A long way off, he must have made a mistake.
Interesting to see what the others do. 32.2, that's more like it. That's what we saw from Q1. So it really matches his time, Q1, that being said.
I have noticed there is a little bit of cloud cover. I'm thinking it might run 3 perhaps. You might have some slightly higher downforce setups. Because as commentators, we don't have a stinking clue of what the weather's going to be like in the race. So perhaps that might explain why there's such a massive difference between these guys. I mean, it's a second difference. Absolutely massive on the same compound tyre. Breno was the first driver to set a representative lap time with the mediums, a 1:34.5. Now, the time that was dropped out in Q1 was a 34.8. No, sorry, it was...
Yeah, it was 34...
That's the time that Papa G Jet set.
Yeah, time to get through was a 33.8.
Yeah. So, not looking good for the medium runners at the moment. If that is the genuine pace.
Looking like at the moment, if you want to be safe, you need to be in a low 33 get into the top 10.
Oh my goodness me, we have a McLaren in third. A 32.8
Yeah.
from safety car. What on earth is happening? He should be last, or second last. No, wait,
Solid
last.
lap.
His teammate isn't here.
A solid lap. So 32.8. That's half a second faster than Semi-Pro and Phil. And Bartas. So confirming that Bartas didn't really have a good lap. We're on board with him. We get to see Pure Gold, Boy, Chevron, Peter Magic, and Dermy get to set a lap. I think.
So we got a big cluster of medium runners, 13th, 14th and 15th. They haven't set a lap time yet, however. And the one that's interesting me is Wogboy. He hasn't set a banker time yet, and he's still in the pit lane. Will he be trying to save a set, perhaps, for Q3?
Might.
Or even for the race, maybe?
Might save a set for Q3, maybe get 2 runs. Q1 we didn't really catch Boy besides that lap that he did in Q1, so maybe. But as you say that, he goes up now.
Okay, so he's just leaving it a bit. Oh, as Pure Gold almost loses a turn 1. Massive slide coming out of the exit. He's already set a lap, well, tried to set a lap. He must have got it invalidated. Oh,
Yeah.
sliding through turn
He's going.
7.
Oh, yep, going for a second lap.
And
He's just overcooking it.
pushing a bit too hard on the soft tyre.
Yeah, I think it's starting to overheat and cry. So it's interesting to see what the medium runners will do for this Q2 session. And
Well, currently Salted is the highest placed medium runner. He set a 33.7, and that puts him currently P7, but 4/10, or a bit under 4/10 of a second away from Bartas in P6. So he might be vulnerable coming towards the end of the session. So who's the leading? Oh, Dermy has spun! Dermy has spun in the third sector. That's not looking good for him at the moment. Still has a set of banker lap at the moment. 6 minutes left to go in the session. Might be a bit touch and go.
at the moment, Rudy is still fastest, but Rockboy is started his lap. He's coming into turn 3 and 4 right now. And I feel that he invalidated his lap because he cut the corner quite heavily into turn 5. And he'll have to do it again, as Lacetal has left the session. We just disconnected.
So Hoota Magic is the next driver on a set of mediums to set a representative lap time, and where does this put him? A 33.2. That is half a second quicker than Salted. A very nice lap time from him. As Chevron and Dermy come into the pit lane, they might change to a soft tyre and come out towards the end of the session. As for whatever reason, Semi-Pro has come out on a set of fresh mediums to try and better his lap time, if he can better his lap time. As Very Lazy Tail has joined back.
So we got 4 minutes to go. 33.4. It's probably the safe point, you'd imagine. If you want to, or above, if you want to be safe.
Boy has started his lap.
He has indeed.
He's going again on the same set of tyres because he invalidated on his first run. So maybe if he takes a bit more of a conservative approach, which he does.
He does have to deal with traffic, I think. Hopefully that's amazing, really. I thought he might crash into him for fun. We're going to 10, 11. Short shifting, trying to minimise the wheel spin. Oh, that is cheeky. That is cheeky. That is very well done. Giving him a bit of a slipstream down the straight. That was actually planned, but very well done between those two. Log Boy coming into the wannabe turn 8 from Turkey. Completely flat out. Turn 19. Now into turn 20. How does this put him? He's a lot slower than what he set. A lot slower time than what he set in Q1. It is slightly older tyres, so I'll give him a bit of a benefit of the doubt. 32.4 he's set. So, with almost 2.5 minutes left in the session, we have still got 3 drivers who haven't set a lap time. Dermy currently is on a flying lap. And Pure Gold, I believe, is trying to set a lap time on the medium tyre. Bit of an interesting call.
A bit of an interesting call. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, if he wants to get into Q3, a 33.4. Smokegrass has retired from the session there. Not quite sure what happened to him. So Smokegrass can't improve his lap time, so that is the benchmark you'll have to beat. Only coming into the final corner now. What can he do? 33 flat, puts him P5.
That knocks Smokegrass out. Smokegrass is out of the session. We've only got...
And I think Salted's out as well. He hasn't come out onto the track, so he's definitely out.
So you got Chevron and Pure Gold both setting lap times right now, trying to get out of Q1, and we've got False Equations on an out lap. He does have time to finish his lap. He's got 40 seconds to complete the last sector. So this is Pure Gold then, trying to get himself out of Q2.
Chevron's done it, he's out, a 32.5, a very good lap time from him. Pure Gold.
And Pure Gold doesn't improve, 34.3.
He's still got one more lap that he can do. He's got one. Oh no! Shut up, me. Otherwise, I'll make him crash probably. Oh, it's False Equations. Almost loses it coming out of the final corner. That will definitely
hinder him a bit, but
run.
it will hinder him a bit, but he'll start his lap. This is him starting his lap right now, so. Pure Gold can improve, which I don't think he is. Pure Gold is out. He's not moving at all.
Done.
So it's just False Equation to see if he can actually...
So what can False Equations do? One lap, runs wide. He might get a slipstream here from the traffic in front. However, I think they might be on a lap time as well. And yellow flag, so just before drivers slowing down and letting others through. And safety car and Pure Gold. He will not be happy with himself. P15, not the place where you want to be.
We have a lot of traffic on this app, but he's keeping it cool. Not made too many errors. Just needs to. He's 14, but who'd imagine giving him a lot of dirty air in that last.
Fortunately, I have.
Yes, yeah.
Here he comes, up to the line. 33.8.
I think that was Magic himself, I believe. That was actually him. But doesn't improve, so although 33.3 Bart is they try to beat this through. So
wow. That'll end Q2. So Breno, he's the first driver to be eliminated by 400ths of a second. It's actually a bit less than that. It's more like 300ths of a second. Then Smokegrass, after retiring, I'm not sure if he did that voluntarily or he actually had an incident somewhere, salted P13, a 33.7, false equations. He couldn't do it on his last lap. He will start P14 and pure gold. He will be very, very frustrated with that. P15, he will start this race from. So, the drivers who are in the 10, we've got Rudy, Corrupted, Wogboy, who seems to be a bit off the pace in comparison to Q1, Chevron, Safety Car, Dermy, Hooter Magic, Semi-Pro, Phil, and Barters will all progress into Q3. And I should also mention, only Hooter Magic will start on the mediums. Everyone else in the 10 will start on the soft compound tyre. As we move on to Q3. It's a lot more overcast than what it was in Q2, but it doesn't seem to be raining. I don't think it will.
So your predictions for pole position, then? Who are we predicting?
Well, I might put the guy in the pink car on pole, probably. No one has cracked into the 31s yet in either qualifying sessions except for Wogboy, and he only went out on one set of soft tyres in Q2, so he's got at the very least 2 sets of soft tyres that he can use for this session, so he's kind of hard to ignore really for pole position. Second might be a fairly interesting contest, so we do have a couple of drivers who can get that.
Yeah, a lot of drivers have came out early. Maybe there is going to be a bit of rain.
Potentially.
Yeah, so I think everyone has come out. Everyone but the 2 Renaults so far have come out very early. So maybe there is rain on the horizon. But who do you want to see lap first? I feel like we should watch either watch Rockboy.
Should we watch Wogboy? See the drivers champion at work?
Could do, yeah. And on the out lap, just in the time. So I guess you two are predicting Wogboy for pole position.
Yeah.
Is that?
I mean, Formula 1 is a silly game, so anything could happen, but logic dictates Wogboy, so...
Yeah, I mean, we did, but when was the last time Wogboy had pole position? Wasn't it back in Italy? Isn't he in the last pole position?
He didn't
But
get it at
we'll find.
Singapore. That was pure gold. Pure gold got pole at
Yeah.
Singapore. Japan?
No, he didn't get Japan because he got disqualified.
That's
P2.
right, he did too.
He didn't get it in Mexico.
And he didn't get it in Mexico. He started dead last in Mexico.
Exactly. So
yeah, it's been a while.
nothing is ever certain. But here he goes. He has very good turn sector. Taking all the curbs aggressively.
That might be an invalidation.
It might be, but as it is an invalidation. He just took too much curb. I was about to say that actually, he took too much curb. It could have been an invalidation, but he does invalidate. So there goes that lap. I guess we'll go to Bartis then, who's about to finish his lap. And he's the first one to cross the line. Of the runners, the first runners. Bartis comes around the second last corner. Good finish runners at 33.1. That's the best time he's done all time, but it's still.
He's been slowly improving. He has been slowly improving.
What we expected, so he's not finding the rhythm. 33.4 for Dermy, P2 at the moment, and then. Is it starting to rain, is it? Or is it me thinking it's starting to rain? It's not starting to rain, it's just me. But.
No, the graphic hasn't came through yet. Yeah.
As Rudy goes fastest, 1:31.9. That's.
9.
So there you go.
So you finally break the 31 as Chevron hits the wall going into turn 1.
Completely destroyed his front wing too. Oh boy. As Hooter expects a 32.2. So
yeah, Hooter Magic has been doing 32.2s all along.
Corrupted goes pole. He gets pole. A 31.9. Oh, this is going to be awfully close, isn't it? 31.9, a 31.95. 32.2. Very close between the top three. There's Wild Boy. After invalidating his first lap time, looking to set at least a banker. Coming into the final two corners of the circuit. Will he invalidate? No, he won't. He'll come across the line. A 31.7.
7. 2 tenths faster than Corrupted, but still 10 slower than we did in his first run, so there's more time to find on that, obviously, because that was his second lap. The same tires. 6 minutes to go. So if Corrupted and Rudy would have been kind of favourites to snatch pole position if Ogboy didn't really get it together. But they really want to get pole position, they really need to be in probably a 31.5, 31.4. See if they can be able to do that.
As we seem to have a couple of drivers who are still out on the circuit on relatively old softs for whatever reason. Maybe just to get a bit of practice of what it's going to be like in the race, maybe. On worn softs you really can't improve your lap times unless you've absolutely buggered up the lap. As safety car comes round and almost loses it. What a way to start a flying lap. Starting it absolutely sideways, coming into turn 1. I actually looked it up. That from the last corner up to turn 1, it's an elevation change of about 40 meters. Or as how the Americans put it, about 28.8 bald eagles per hamburger. Because they like measuring and stupid shit like that. That will end sector 1. He's now coming into sector 2. into turn 11. Does it quite nicely. On the power.
Tidy so far. 25.3 first sector, which is half a second down on the fastest first sector at the moment. This does a 37.1, which is only 3/10 slower than what everyone else is doing. So he's 3/10 at the moment. He's losing about 3/10 to the field, 8/10 at the moment.
If
he can get it together in the final sector.
It's looking like quite a competitive lap time here from safety car. It's been quite clean.
Yeah, so it's going to be a mid 32 something, but we'll find out what it's going to be.
What's the line? 33 flat.
3. So he lost another half a second because he was 8/10 down. That's 2 sectors. So lost another half a second in the last sector. So if you could find the time that he did.
I did notice he was out of ERS in that last sector. He did manage to drain it all, but in the last sector there's not a lot of top speed sections through there. It wouldn't have made too much of a difference, I wouldn't think. Definitely would have gave a bit more punch out of the corners, but still, a 33 flat puts him P7 currently. So all drivers have set a lap time except for Phil.
The safety car spins in sector 2.
Bloody McLaren.
Oh, for goodness sake. Just a
The
hazard
pit lane's
on the
not there yet.
You cheeky bastard, you Alcatraz. Oh,
Gotta do it.
that ending at Mexico was absolutely bonkers. On the last corner, on the last lap, and he manages to bin it. Oh. Hopefully we might see some chaos like that here in America. What's surprising is that Phil is still in the pit lane. He does have time, 2 minutes to go, but it's a bit touch and go at the moment.
Unless he's like set for P10. That's all qualifying actually, because usually I think it's the highest qualifying we've seen him. Well, I've seen him anyway. Do so maybe he's just saving the tires, going for his qualifying for P10. As half the grid are on their outlaps, which is what boy corrupted. So Rudy is back in the pit lane again, so he's definitely not coming out. So he is set for 3rd place on the grid. So realistically now it's between corrupted, Logboy for pole position, and maybe Hutamagic might pull out something.
Might do. We've got a couple of drivers on their flying laps. First of which is Chevron. He's on the flying lap. Coming into
Chevron does.
15. Nice and easy on the power. Should be relatively full throttle. And is.
Chevron is 2/10 faster in the first sector alone. So it's actually a lot faster actually. So he's 2/10 faster in the first sector, but 2/10 down the middle. So this is gonna be really close.
Was that a 31.8?
I think he invalidated.
He got invalidated. Oh, he will be absolutely furious with himself. That would have put him P2 provisionally. Oh, he would be absolutely furious.
He was giving everything and made him invalidated. It's so unfortunate, but he's corrupted. Starts his lap, as also does Walker Boy. So if you want to see how this too.
So, this is going to be the fight for pole. Wogboy and Corrupted are the drivers to look out for. An outside shot is Hutamagic. Rudy's going on it. Oh, okay. Sorry, the leaderboard came up with Rudy on an outlap for whatever reason.
So Walkboy's improved in the first sector, as Corrupted didn't really improve much in the first sector. So at the moment it's an advantage Walkboy for extending his all time. He gets
He's
very
half a
good
second
exit.
up. He's half a second up.
He's half a second in the middle sector alone. So can Corrupted find a response?
I have a feeling this is going to be an absolutely mega time here from Wogboy. The fastest we've
36.
seen is a 31.6.
He improves, but he goes too deep, and that's his lap down there, I'm afraid. So it's on Mogwai. Let's see what he does. Does a 1:31.1.
31.1. Oh my word.
Can Corrupted save his lap after making that error in turn 16? He does not. So he is on P2.
Peter Magic jumps up to P2. He does a 31.6 right at the death.
Huna Magic steals P2 from Corrupted, who should have gotten P2 but made an error in turn 16, and that gifted Huna Magic P2.
So, results for Q3. Wogboy by no less than half a second, quicker than Hooter Magic. Then Corrupted Rudy, after not coming out of the pit lane towards the end of the session. He will start P4. Chevron P5, he will be absolutely gutted with that. He did a 31.8, but got his lap invalidated at the end. That would have put him P3. Semi-Pro P6, Safety Car P7, Bucks P8, Dermy P9, and Phil, who doesn't set a lap time, will start P10. As we go on to the race here at Circuit of the Americas, and it is clear skies, not a single cloud in the sky at all. So no wet weather racing, or at least no wet weather chaos.
Not at all. But that was an interesting qualifying, actually. Now thinking about it. It felt like it could have been Corrupted steal pole position for Wogboy, but made that error. Which he might rue, but he can make it up in the race. There were two Renaults in second and third on the grid, having a strong qualifying. You have Rudy up there now. I think this is Rudy's first debut race, and he starts P4 in the grid. So that's something to note as well.
I've completely forgotten that this is his first. Holy shit, am I just a daft prick or what? Yes, of course, Rudy, this is his first damn race. I've been playing in too many other leagues to notice. Anyway, yeah. Mr. Brundle, do your grid walk. Let's go. You missed out last week, you got to do it now.
Yeah, so Wogboy takes pole position and starts on the soft tyre. Huda Magic was the one who started on the medium tyre. We didn't mention this in Q2, but he actually touched the medium tyres, so he starts second on the medium tyres. Corrupted P3 on the soft tyres, with Toes Rudy debuted in P4, Red Bull, Chevron P5 with Semi-Pro in P6. Safety Car 7. Barters on the soft tyres. Dermy P9 in the Haas, and P10 for Phil MC83, having a strong qualifying in the Q3. Breno, first of the fresh tyre runners on the medium tyres in P11 with Smokegrass in P12. Sausage Urethra P13. Toss Equations P14. Pure Gold P15, all on medium tyres, so medium, and medium for them. And Papa G P16 on the soft tyre, very little towel, rounding out the grid after in Q1 after certain trials and tribulations. So everyone starts to warm up again. It's pretty much time to save the tyres and try and manage fuel and whatnot, so they can start the lap. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Alright.
It's up to you, Smack.
So after the chaos of Mexico, we arrive here in the United States of America. The big, fat, smelling of petrol and of... Oh, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say something, then I stopped myself from doing it. Anyway, we're here in the States. Drivers are now starting to line up on the grid. I was going to point out salted and false equations. They must have had contact somewhere on the formation lap. They didn't get to set one, unfortunately for them. As I try and find a half-decent camera shot. Oh well, this will have to do. You can see most of the grid.
Chevron's angles look pretty good.
So, lights are out, and away we go here in America. Everyone seems to have gotten a relatively good start, as we got a Haas trying to find its way down the inside. It makes contact with the Red Bull. Might have had a few front wings lost here. Everyone's
already got 5 places, 6 places.
An immense start from the Ferrari driver as drivers run wide coming through the S's. Just have a quick look at drivers who have made positions here. As you said,
Kyogo's got 7.
7 positions. That's a mega start from the Ferrari driver.
And he is on the medium compound.
As we got
He is under pressure for P9. He had an awful start. He was probably the one that got into contact with one of the Haas's in the beginning of the start. And yeah, it's pretty semi-chaotic at the moment, with Robbie adjusting for positions at the moment at the back.
As we've got drivers scattering all over the circuit, trying to overtake other drivers. 3 wide into turn 12. I think that might be a Red Bull.
Bruno and Rudy.
Bruno and Rudy. There's damage on one of the Haas's. That's Dermy. Has a broken front wing as well. Probably from the contact with turn 1.
Bruno spins a little. Oh.
Does spin. Loses back in.
Mm.
Contact with probably just Rudy, because like he was the one he was fighting with. All those things going on the back end, but Walkway takes the 1.5 second lead. Interrupted. Chevron up to P3. Chevron up to P3 getting a good start. Up to a couple of positions. Started from P5 on the grid. Pneumatic losing a position on his start. They lost 2 positions from the starting grid, starting on those medium tyres, and now he needs to try and fight back. As he got semi-pro and Barters P5 and 6, safety car 7, Kyogo 8, chose Rudy 9, Sausage Aretha battling out with Dermy.
We've got a mega battle here between Dermy and Solid. There is contact through the S's. Out of all the places you want to make contact, that's the last place you want to do it here at Kota.
And Sausage Aretha gets through. Dermy with that damage is struggling.
Papa making a move on Renault. Gets it done.
Let's get it done. Now he has to chase up to Dermy. He's carrying a 6-car DRS bar slipstream train at the moment until DRS gets enabled on the end of the lap. As Breno gets past Papa G again. Tries to force it around the outside, and which converts to the inside. But breaks early, and lets it go. Gives him the position. Breno takes the high ground and goes ahead.
So with the first couple of laps out of the way and with DRS enabled, Wogboy has taken the lead, a 1.2 second margin to Corrupted. Chevron just in behind, within DRS range, just 8/10 behind. Huta Magic after losing 2 positions, but that's to be expected on the medium tyre. With the softer compound, you are expected to get a better start. He's currently in P4, Semi-Pro in P5 with his teammate in behind. Safety car in the McLaren in P7 with Killgold in P8, the biggest mover and shaker out of all the drivers at the start of the race. Rudy in P9. How many places has he lost? Down 5 places from the start there for Rudy. Not a very strong debut. Well, for the start anyway.
Yeah, biggest loser and biggest gainer right next to each other, P8 and P9. With Kyogo up 7 places. Starting on the medium tyres, let's not forget.
Wallboy's lost the lead. Crofted's now into the lead. Wallboy must have made a mistake coming out of turn 11 as Chevron looks down to the inside of Hooter Magic. Hooter Magic goes around the outside, down into the inside of turn 13. Into 14, now into 15. They're still side by side. Hooter Magic runs wide to try and get the over-under. And very good racing between these two.
Chevron holds on for that P3 that he took from the Magic at the start. The Magic now on the tyres favourable at this phase where the soft tyres start to overheat a little bit as Walkway loses back in again. And he's starting to struggle on overheating soft tyres, I believe. They do start to overheat around this time, so maybe he's struggling the most out of the top 5. Besides Magic, of course, on medium, but he's struggling at the moment. As Corrupted, he's starting to pull away now.
Hooter Magic gets a 3-second time penalty there for multiple warnings. Not exactly ideal at this stage of the race.
Not ideal, but it's first of many from many drivers, so I feel like.
Oh, we have Papa pulling off on the S's. Losing control.
Guess he made an error.
Yeah, he just snapped back. Just got a ton of grip when he was going through it and just lost control, really. Just watching the back battles here. Bit of a train going through here. There's a bit of a time difference between Phil and Renault, so...
Just coming back to the leaders, Corrupted has pulled out a slight margin as Hooter Magic down the inside. Wow, what a spectacular move there. Nice and clean from both drivers, respecting each other's place in the race.
Magic starting to use those tyres to good use. Those tyres to good use, I say, and now he's putting under pressure to Vogboy, who's struggling the most, as we said earlier. And he's now heavily under pressure already. Magic is absolutely flying on those medium tyres in this phase of the race, but at the moment Corrupted is pulling away from both a pair of them. So
Dermy just smashed into the wall, and Jeremy's gone.
Oh, he's out.
Jeremy is gone.
Now, did he do that by himself or was there contact?
As we have VSC.
Virtual set. Ooh, this spice is saying
from the angle that I had when I saw him, he just flicked into the wall, lost the front wing, and then ricocheted onto the other wall. Like he bounced across each one. I don't know if there was any contact, but
Phil
just
MC,
from my angle, I just can't make a call.
Phil MC has just copped a drive-through penalty for speeding under virtual safety car. That's put his race down the shitter. That's not very good news for him. Now, would you gamble on going onto the hard compound now? Because I don't think the mediums will make it to the end of the race from this point. But would you gamble on the hards, perhaps? Oh, as virtual safety car decides to switch itself off and throw all that crap out the window.
Yeah. Yeah.
Renault and Phil got drive-through penalties for speeding on the base of VSC, so that's their race absolutely ruined, and that brings up false equation Tao.
It's Wogboy pit.
It's Wogboy. Wogboy does pit because he was struggling the most on those soft tyres.
Maybe he was already going into the pits during the virtual safety car.
He picks hard tyres. Hard tyres.
I believe that's a poor choice.
That is a poor choice. Hard tyres
do
not. They're not good pace as the mediums.
Yeah, the pace on the mediums compared.
The soft tyres. Yeah, the soft tyres are so deceptive that you think that the mediums will not last, but they actually do. So, but we'll see how it works for him. He's under pressure from his own teammate, but
Smoke pulls away, let him go. Yeah.
Yeah, teammate lets him go.
Yeah, the hards just don't have good pace here. I reckon if you just maybe even stacked another pair of softs and then push for another pair of mediums or vice versa. Going onto hards now is just poor. I don't think he's going to have the pace to catch up back to Cryptic.
And plus he's now in world of traffic with Papa G, Lazy Towel, What's Equation, Phil. But Phil does have a drive-through penalty, so it's pretty much he's stuck in this kind of mini train right now.
Yeah.
But the two Renaults doing separate strategies, of course, kind of working in their favor, and Corrupted is the one that's kind of pulling away a little bit on the soft tire. So kind of shows that Corrupted actually has probably the better race pace out of the top four right now.
Well, at the moment, I believe that Corrupted is very much deserving of a race when he has driven absolutely superbly in the past couple of races. And he's driven that well and that boringly that we've completely ignored him on every single stream. And now suddenly he's in the lead and he's actually driving incredibly well. As quite a number of drivers get 3-second time penalties there. Again, as we've said, that's to be expected.
Fan, he was my driver, well, one of my driver of the days, actually, because he was out in the qualifying in Q2 and ended up in a solid P5, where we didn't really talk about him much, but he was the one that was not in any incidences and just kept clean.
Well, we thought he was a cork in the bottle, didn't we? We thought he was holding everyone up.
Yeah.
When actually he was just doing alright. he was just minding his own business.
He was just doing
Pure
alright.
had to go up one more spot as well.
Yeah, Pure got stuck. Yeah, he's a dark horse in this race now, with the medium tires as well. So Budapest and Pure Gold are pretty much on the same strategy at this point. So them two will be probably battling in a few laps time. But Chevron is kind of in the middle of that and is kind of there or thereabouts. But nowhere near the pace of Corrupted, which is interesting, and we're coming into the next lap of lap 8.
So let's see. Got a couple of battles here and there between a few drivers. We got one between Semi-Pro and Safety Car for P8. We've got one between False Equations and Very Lazy Tail for P10. As Safety Car comes in, what will he? Oh, as he almost does a Grosjean, binning it in the pit lane, but this time at the pit entry, not the pit exit. Will the mediums make it from him? Obviously not.
Mediums can last about 23 laps.
He's on the hards. He's on the hard tyre.
He's on the hard tyre as well, so he's also picked a wrong call. That's also another wrong call. Hard tyres not to play.
Suppose we'll find out. Wild Boy, he's made up quite a number of positions, and that's only because both Breno and Phil had to serve their drive-throughs. He's now into P10, and he's got False Equation right.
He does, and he's got Semi-Pro to deal with afterwards. But he's a few 3 seconds of the road, so it's fine. But Corrupted now, starting to lose a lot of time on those soft tires. I feel like he is this time for pit. Potentially on the medium tires, hopefully it makes that strategy cool. But we'll see what he does if he pits this lap. Which he doesn't, so he's going out again for another lap. As does Chevron and Bartas.
They're all trying to stretch the softer tyre. It seems at the moment, no, as Rudy comes into pit and Semi-Pro comes in. Perhaps the reason why Bartas has stayed out for another lap, as Semi-Pro has got that revving glitch. Oh my goodness me. That's loud.
As Rudy
comes
also
onto the
hards.
They're all going onto
Everyone.
the hards.
They're all going onto the hards.
They all must be as stupid as me, because I did that and it absolutely ruined my race, going onto the hard tyre. I didn't realise how bad it is around here. It's actually atrocious. It's a bit like Mexico. You really don't want to use a hard tire. Well, in my opinion, I don't like using the hard tire in Mexico. It's like concrete on concrete. It just doesn't work. And when I raced around here on the hards, it was equally as atrocious. I wish I went on to the mediums.
Piogo caught up to Chevron quite a lot, and now is up to P3 medium tires. So here's now a direct fight between him and Hutamagic and Corrupted, and we'll put Chevron in there as well for the win.
Hopefully their strategies will come together at the end of the race. It would be epic to see 4 drivers on 4 different strategies. Oh, roughly 4 different strategies. Chevron still doesn't... Oh, never mind. Yes, he does. But Corrupted doesn't. The leader still hasn't pitted.
10 laps is still doable. He goes to mediums, definitely. As let's see what Chevron goes on. If he goes on the hard tires, no, he goes on mediums. So he pits 4 mediums. Play. Obviously getting the undercut on the hard tires.
And just then I noticed he just set the fastest lap of the race. So only Barter's Corrupted. Phil has come in for his stop, and Papa G, they're the only runners left on the soft tyre. Everybody else is either on the mediums that they started with or on the hard tyre. As Barters, he's now under attack from Salted onto the DRS straight. Barters trying to break the slipstream into turn 12. You know, there's one thing that every Tilka track has in common. None of them have corner names. And it's really frustrating. Because I have to memorize the damn racetrack with the corner numbers rather than corner names. Like, have you noticed that? Every single Tilka track doesn't have corner names.
Yeah, they just have corner numbers.
They just have corner numbers. Which means I have to memorize the damn racetrack and which corner is which.
It does, but Corrupted does pit.
Is it because of the history of the track? How there isn't much history behind it, so they can't really give it names?
Could do. But, you know...
Or because they don't believe they're going to stay on the calendar for much longer. You know?
It's only going to be there for a couple of years. Who cares about corner names?
Yeah. Good question.
I mean... So... The most memorable part of the circuit is turn 1, and it's because of this massive hill. And they missed the opportunity to call that corner Phil Hill. I mean, the opportunity is there to call that corner Phil Hill. That would be amazing if they called it that. But no, it's just turn 1. It's...
Yeah.
Land.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
It is, but what can you do? I mean, at the moment, to get back to the action, I'll come back to that thought anyway. But Corrupted is only 3.4 seconds of Fogboy, who inherits the lead in theory because he undercutted everyone with 5-lap-old hards, and Corrupted's on fresh mediums.
He is making the hards work, not gonna lie.
Yes, but what's the time delta between the mediums and the hards?
It's about a second.
So, within about 6, maybe 7 laps, he'll be right up his gearbox?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Wogboy may have dug himself into a hole he can't get himself out of. Potentially.
So this is... If Corrupted can get close enough, it's his win at the moment. Because... Yes, you could argue that Hutamagic and Pyogo will be on the soft tire towards the end, and they could probably push it as well. But if Corrupted can catch Wogboy and get past him, then I feel like they won't be able to catch enough.
How long did you say the mediums last? About 23 laps, did you say?
Yeah, about 23 laps. Next target, a 3-second time penalty.
Everyone seems to be quite spread out at the moment too.
Yeah, the only close battle at the moment is Smoke Grass. Digital.
Still got plenty of ERS to use for Tao. Are we going to see a move on this back straight?
He doesn't get quite the ideal run coming out of turn 11. He does get the slipstream and DRS. He's in high mode. Quiet.
He's just saving him for now. Doesn't want to go for an audacious move. But,
maybe just saving his tyres so he can have a longer run, a shorter stint on the softs to really push. Who knows?
Who knows?
Has
But
got plenty of
yes, the RS, but Snodgrass is holding on quite well. Especially they're all in the similarly aged lap tyres.
Yeah.
Very late attack.
Another 3 seconds of playing and locks up again.
So you got 3 warnings all in that one lap.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is, as much as we're saying he's saving, he's pushing.
Either that or he's not focused or something.
Because I know he's one of the drivers that doesn't have racing lines, and he has mentioned before that this is the one track where this section of in Sector 1 is quite difficult to hit without some type of guidance, but so yeah, he was always going to get plenty of penalties.
Yeah, I'm going to second that because I don't use racing line either. I only use traction control and ABS because as I'm not that much of a bot. I'm not. I feel like it's a good equalizer. If I use traction control and ABS, I shouldn't have to use racing line. I should have to learn the track, where to brake, where to turn, and where to accelerate. But yeah, I do struggle here at Circuit of the Americas, not particularly through Sector 1, as Tao mentioned. For that reason, I actually quite despise this racetrack. I really do. I hate this damn place. Oh dear God, do I hate it.
Yeah, it's quite a tricky track to get the flow of. Getting through the sectors kind of ebb and flow, and you just have to like do it every single time, and it comes at you every single time. And that's why it's so frustrating, is that it comes at you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you have to nail it every single time, and it's a mess. This track's a mess, really, but.
As Lazy Tal and Barters are now starting to have a scuffle. Lazy Tal has fallen away.
Yeah, Barters on the fresh tyres. Lazy Tal on 13 upper mediums. Now trying to defend his position.
And this might bring Rudy into it. He's only half a second behind these two. We'll go on board with Rudy. It's quite a nice view, actually.
Oh, we're seeing him move down the inside.
Yeah.
Oh, brakes late. Oh, and still gets it done.
Yeah, Tal brake early.
Yeah.
Brake early to give him the position. I just got DRS as well, so he should pull away.
Yeah, but he has got no ERS as well.
Yeah, it's no slipstream.
I think very Lazy Tal might have quite a good straight line speed setup, because I just noticed there, even though Rudy had DRS and the slipstream, he was still losing time to very Lazy Tal, ever so slightly. Even though, as Lazy Tal almost loses it, even though Lazy Tal didn't have DRS, he was still pulling away from Rudy, which is quite interesting. He may have gambled with a lower downforce setup.
Might have. Maybe it was Sector 2, and that is Papatini who lost it in turn 6, 10, 7, and 8.
Oh look, he uses reverse.
Yeah. Don't go to AI.
Yeah. Oh, he's
retired. Hopefully not in a bad spot.
Don't. Oh, thank goodness. The AI has a level of competence.
It has actually pulled over to the side, thank God. We're not going to see another race ban.
So, we've completely ignored the leaders because there's absolutely nothing going on at the moment. Hooter Magic leads by a fairly healthy margin of 3 seconds. Salted 2 seconds behind him, with Wogboy 5 seconds behind this pack here. And Corrupted, who's 3 seconds behind Wogboy.
Yeah, I was monitoring the gap while we were talking about Tower, and he hasn't caught up. Like, it's ebbing and flowing between 2.7 to 3 seconds. Is now this is the biggest gap we've seen. It's 3.4. So, at the moment, Wogboy is doing enough to keep Corrupted at bay, and Corrupted needs to pick up the pace if he really wants to win this Grand Prix. He needs to pick up the pace now.
Actually, it seems like he's falling back into the clutches of Chevron at the moment.
Yeah, if anything, Chevron is on more pace.
And if Cryptic does improve, he does get to push the constructor standings by quite a bit. They'll have a nice. They've already got a 20-point advantage compared to the Haas team. And seeing that Haas is both down out of the top 10, they'll pull away from the constructors.
Yeah, they'll pull away a big margin.
Yeah, and Racing Point might take over the Haas team in today's race to give P2.
So returning back to the battle between, was very lazy. He has fallen away dramatically from this battle.
I wonder why.
15 lap old mediums. So Rudy, Barters and Smokegrass. Barters might have a look. That's a horrible camera shot. What the heck? All we want to look at is a is a left-hand rear tire. That's all we want to look at. That is a shocking camera shot. Barters, the most well-placed out of all of the drivers. 5 lap old mediums.
Oh, Rouge just did a move on Barters. Oh no, on Smokegrass. Nice.
Oh, Smokegrass goes horribly wide. And he's coming in.
Yeah, he's losing grip.
So he has to do 11
and
laps.
follows in as well.
No, 12 laps.
Will Bruno do the same? Bruno is staying in.
So they're calling it. They're going to go 10 laps to the end.
Oh god,
Bruno's
that's
going to probably do one more. He's doing a huge outlap. He's gone into beat Smokegrass and Tao. Oh,
Breno almost losing it at turn 1.
Lost a lot of time.
As Barters did lose it in the middle of the...
Oh no! We got a car coming, we do.
So Bruno's going to come right through Barters here.
Yeah, there's the 2 Red Bulls.
Squeezing him out wide.
Yes. So we're not coming into the play with the medium tires can go, the medium runners that started on the medium runners pit go on the soft tires. So do they pit now? So we'll see what Hooter Magic does. Does he pit when he goes for another lap?
He is losing time compared to Pure Gold. He did have 3 seconds on him, and now it has dropped to 2.6.
And I think Salton might be gaining to Pure Gold as well. He's closing within DRS range of him. And
yes,
Corrupted has fallen even further back behind Wogboy. It's now 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Chevron is right up his, or almost up his gearbox. He's within DRS range.
He is struggling. Oh wait, the only person besides Rudy at the moment, the only person in the top 10 on the hard tires, but Rudy is kind of struggling as well. So he's the only one technically make this strategy work if he can make it work. Coming to the end, we got the soft runners eventually, between the Magic Pure Gold and Salted Eureka, but they're only 3 seconds behind Mockboy at the moment. Further 5 seconds behind Corrupted, and Chevron now within DRS range.
So False Equations and Breno, they're pitting for the soft compound tyre. They're planning to go
Chevron.
about 10 laps on theirs.
Chevron now has DRS and is about to take the move for the P5 to Corrupted. Corrupted tries to defend, but it's no use. Chevron goes a bit too deep.
That's a good run from Corrupted. Around the outside, he can't make it work. He might get the switch back on him again.
Chevron loses it.
No!
Chevron lost the back end.
Now, was it actually Chevron losing the back end, or was there contact that caused Chevron to spin? No contact?
No contact. Chevron lost the back end coming in. We tried to go for a switch back, tried to put the power down early.
Okay, so Hooter Magic's in. Hooter Magic is in. So
that's lost a lot of time for those two now.
They have, and that's...
They've got an even bigger mountain to climb if they want to take first place away from Wogboy.
So Hooter Magic comes out in front of Chevron.
Has Chevron got any damage? No, it doesn't appear to be.
He did hit the wall. I don't know if he did hit damage or not. There's Rudy retired. I didn't see that.
Hang on, I'm right on board with Smokegrass.
He retired in the pit lane.
Oh, he must have. Why on earth?
Disqualification?
No, he retired within the pit lane.
Retired.
I'll tell you what happened. He may have got wing damage at some point, but it wasn't sufficient enough for them to replace the front wing. Because you can see they changed his tyres to medium contact. He was on the hard, so he may have got wing damage at some point. And when you're in that light green, that sort of lime green brake, they don't replace the wing, even if you put it onto yes. So that may have happened there for Rudy.
May have happened, but everyone else have swapped positions. And now it's up to Hooter Magic to get that walk by 10 seconds. 10 seconds is the gap. 10 seconds is the gap.
Wogboy moves up because of Salted's pit.
Yep.
So he'll be moving on to the soft compound tyre.
And safety car goes past semi-pro on the back.
So the question is now, can Hooter Magic, Salted and Pure Gold catch Wogboy with 8 laps to go? All on fresh softs.
So
Wogboy on 14 lap old power tyres.
This is how it stands. Wogboy on 14 lap hards. Hooter Magic on fresh softs. He's got 10 seconds and 9 laps to try and catch up to Wogboy and overtake him. This might be a very, very interesting finale here. Smokegrass gets a 3-second time penalty. I would hate to have a look at that racing incidents sheet. It would be absolutely full of warnings. Millions of them probably. Let's see. Corrupted and Chevron are still for P4. And seems very Lazy Tail is battling with safety car. And that's about it. Pure Gold comes in for his final stop. And Wogboy now takes the lead of the Grand Prix here at Circuit of the Americas.
The Magic says the fastest lap. 257 in comparison. Wogboy's best lap was a 36.6, so he's 9/10 faster in this lap alone. So carry on like this, you might make it.
But he also has to make the moves stick. It's one thing to catch them, it's another thing to overtake them. Particularly towards the end. You tend to get a little bit more feisty when it comes to fighting for positions.
Chevron's going to have another go at Corrupted. After his failed attempt a few laps ago. Still within DRS range, and Sausage Rito catching the pair of them.
Ooh. Chevron getting a bit of a slide coming out of turn 11. So that ruined his run coming onto the back straight. So he won't be able to get him this lap.
Chipper goes deep. Just as again get corrupted.
Hello, Salted. Where the hell did you come from? I've been too
Pure
busy.
Gold. Yeah, Pure Gold is about to catch this as well. So this is now all of a sudden a battle for P3. But 4 cars in the mix of it.
And then
4 different teams.
And then a 25-second margin to 7th place. As Hutamagic sets the fastest lap of the race. The gap is now 7.8 seconds between Wogboy and Hutamagic.
Yeah, 6 laps to go. As that Sausage Eureka goes down the inside on Chevron. Goes down the inside.
Right. Again, going too hard on the accelerator.
Race over for the Alfa Romeo driver.
The man that went up basically 10 places.
Oh, that is such a travesty for Chevron. He was looking the fastest out of the medium runners. And now he's completely destroyed the left-hand side of his wing.
And now we've got Corrupted a sitting duck on those medium tyres compared to the soft runners. Just doesn't have the pace I thought he would have had when he pitted on those tyres. And now he's got solid route all the back of him, and now he's defending for his life, goes too deep, everyone locks up.
There was contact between Pure Gold and Corrupted there. Just a little bit, no damage.
But now, yeah, Corrupted drops 2 positions.
Jeez, I did not see that coming.
No, after such an amazing first stint from Corrupted.
He just did not have the pace. Gap now 6 seconds. Covering top 2. And now this is a battle now. The final podium spot for Salted and Pure Gold. Salted gets a good run and DRS.
While that's going on, we've got a fairly good battle between False Equations and Smoke Grass.
Yeah, they make contact a little bit. They make a little bit of contact. Pure Gold goes very wide. But Eureka gets P3 on Pure Gold.
Salted 3-second time penalty.
3 seconds, yeah.
He did.
How much are they going to be playing a part in the end of this race? I've completely forgotten about that. I don't think Wogboy has got any penalties. I haven't seen his name come up. And he's typically a very clean driver too. And I think I may have seen Hutamagic come up once or twice.
So they
Hutamagic.
Hutamagic.
The back end.
Oh, Cryptid, sorry. Magic, sorry.
Yeah, Cryptid.
Cryptid did.
Yeah, unfortunately.
No front wing damage though. Doesn't appear to be. That rubs salt into the wound, doesn't it, for the Renault driver?
I thought it was going to be a lockout one too, to be honest, at the start.
Yeah.
Great partnership in the first stint.
Well, it definitely seemed like it. We all thought that on the hard tyre, Wogboy wouldn't be able to make it work. But he's proved us wrong. Currently,
Yeah.
He's
the only one to make it. He's the only one to make it work, and out of everyone. But still 4 laps to go. The Magic 6.6. Yeah. Pure gets past Solid Eureka. The Magic 6 seconds now. Still. They're starting to stagnate a bit, and there's Pure Gold. Just back in it a little bit.
And this appears to be... Oh no, we do have a couple of battles going on. Let's see. The one between False Equations and Smoke Grass is still going on. And we've got a battle for the final point scoring position. No, we don't. Never mind. Breno's on 6-lap-old softs and safety cars on 16-lap-old Hards. There's no way he's catching up to him in a minute. So, seems the battle to look at is indeed for third place between Pure Gold and Salted. Going through turn 16 now. Seems Salted has lost a little bit of time, not a lot, but a little bit. Semi-pro, 3-second time penalty, 4 multiple warnings. And it seems that Hooter Magic has actually lost time to Wogboy. It's now 7 seconds.
He only caught 3 seconds within 8 laps, well, 6 laps of having those tires, so he's only carried half a second a lap effectively.
And Salted, he's now losing quite a lot of time to Pure Gold, it seems.
Yeah,
he's
Pure
just
Gold,
lost 2 or 3 tenths in that first sector alone.
Yep, it's pretty much starting to stag out and then string out.
Oh, he goes
Soldier goes
wide,
really wide, loses DRS now, and I don't think he might come back after that. Still time.
You're right, there is still time. It just doesn't look good at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's not no good over. The only next battle is false equations, Snowgrass.
At least we got one.
Yeah, we got one. And it's false equation defending for 6th position and Snowgrass trying to catch.
I'd like to see how all the penalties change up the positions at the end of the race.
Yeah, definitely.
There's not much going on. I might just have a quick look at the racing incidents thus far, and holy moly, righto, there is a lot more. 3 seconds. Holy cow.
Sector 2 somewhere. Nothing of it.
Whole heap of 3-second penalties.
Chevron actually did pit, get his wing changed, because he is on 2 lap old softs.
Oh, sorry, Wogboy does indeed have, he has 1 penalty so far, Wogboy.
As Wogboy actually pulls away to 7-second difference.
Yeah. It's his win, to be honest.
Yeah.
We thought the strategy would work, but he's made it work. Kind of showing his potential and his pace. What he could have had. Who knows what he could have done in the mediums? He could have dominated and run away with it.
Very true.
More penalties. Holy moly.
2 alphas going ham.
On the penalties, yeah. I'm pretty sure. How many penalties does he have? 2, 3, 4, 5.
But this
6,
is a
7.
good redemption for Wogboy to get P1 after last week's incident with Conehouse, so great little redemption.
Ginormous incident.
Yeah,
It was
actually went through all the qualifyings this time and gets P1.
Yeah, gets his first pole position for so long, and finally gets a race win. When was his last race win? That's actually.
Since he won the championship?
Well, he won in Russia, didn't he?
He won the championship in Japan, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, because I completely forgot about it, because, again, I'm a moron. But did he win that race?
In Russia? No, he didn't win in Japan. It was... Who was it? Was it Aussie Rick? I actually can't remember.
Here at DRS, we are incredibly professional, and we know exactly
we know exactly what we're talking about. Everything that we say is factual. Quote unquote Ferrari.
Oh, Jesus.
But yes.
3 seconds.
More time penalties, fantastic.
More
Push
false
it on the last
equations. But yeah, we said that the strategy wouldn't work, and it's coming up to the last lap now, and 7.3 second gap. He has pulled it out of the bag. It has worked in his favour incredibly and endearingly. Putting the laps that he needed to do, keeping it clean, doing the overtakes.
We actually do have a small battle that's going to be developing for 6th place. So we do have False Equation and Smokegrass, but Chevron is charging at the moment. If these two keep battling, it'll make his job a lot. He's right up there, gearboxes now actually. Their continued battling has brought them back into the clutches of Chevron, who's on 4-lap-old soft tyres. He'll be looking to score as many points as possible after he managed to spin himself out at turn 1. It appears to be the only battle so far. Chevron, he looks down the inside! Did Smokegrass?
Smokegrass. I think he might have just lost the back end a little.
Smokegrass popped up, lost the back end, and Chevron just took into the inside position. Now he's got one more car left to make up for the mistakes he made up earlier, and now he's got 6 in his sights with false equations.
Ooh.
5 lap on the tyres.
He does make a bit of a mess of the S's at the moment.
He does, but we've got to What Boy, who's coming to turn 17.
We thought it was going to be a lot closer. We thought strategies might come together. We were wrong. But it doesn't take away what has been a spectacular drive from the Drivers' Champion. He wins here in America. Coming across the line in 2nd place. Roots of Magic. Yeah, no penalties, no nothing. Pure Gold
Chevron,
P3. As you're right, Chevron has made the move. He's made it stick, he won't let that go. Salted P4. Corrupted. We thought he'd have a better race, but on those medium tyres he just couldn't find the pace. For whatever reason, he just couldn't recover. He'll get P5. Now I'm not sure if he's weaving because he's ecstatic or because he's pissed off. I'm not completely sure. Chevron P6. False Equations P6. Because Chevron's penalties. Smokegrass P8. Renault P9. Yeah, no, P7. And safety car, Z Mc...
Oh, and Tao's just chilling on the sideline.
Because why not?
I don't know if he lost it on the last corner. Is he out of fuel? I don't know.
Safety car, On a similar strategy as Wogboy, he finishes P8.
Last to come across.
And semi-pro.
Gingerly goes across.
It wasn't the most amazing Grand Prix, I have to admit. It had its moments.
Hard to compare to Mexico for me.
Yeah. But regardless of that, ladies and gentlemen, your top 3 here in America.
Congratulations to Wogboy, yes, he wins the Grand Prix from Puna Magic in P2, Yoga Gold in P3, Solid Roof in P4, Corrupted in P5, False Equations in P6, Breno P7, solid result for him. Safety car, safety car, P8, Chevron P9, Smokegrass P10. Phil in P11, signing for P10, Lazy Towel P12, Semi-Pro 13th. Toes Rudy, the first of the DNFs in 14th, Bartas 15th, also DNF, Papa G and Dermy, who DNF'd on lap 3 of the US Grand Prix. So then, who's your driver of the day?
Well, I'll have to give it to Pure Gold, really. That's P15 to P3 after having a shocking Q2. A brilliant recovery drive, and only one penalty to his name. It's a very clean drive from the Ferrari driver, and I don't see any other driver who could get it, to be honest. He's the only one that really stands out to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
he
do
did-
some
he did
podium interview? Sorry, go on.
Yeah, he did have a phenomenal start, jumping up 10 places in the first lap, so well deserved.
I would agree. I'd give it to Pure Gold. Pure in the fact that he had an insane start, got up to so many positions, and then just made the position stick and stuff. And also, again, Ogboy doing that strategy also did pay off and helped him win that race. So, again, those two stand out to me. Making those two, one making the strategy work, and two making the positions go up as high as possible. But do you want to do podium interviews, or are we not going to do that?
I suppose we could.
They're on.
See if we can't invite any of them to join us, if they're still online, of course. Let's see. Well, that's just great. I don't have any of them as friends. Fuck me. Shit. So... Oh, thanks for being here, Alcatraz. Sort of in the background, sharing your opinions, sharing what's happening towards the back end of the field. And thanks again. And another brilliant job from Martin Brundle. It's always good to have a professional on board who actually knows what they're talking about. When you got me and Alcatraz who are absolute muppets, it's always good to have a professional. So thanks again, Dougie. Another brilliant commentary stint from you, mate.
We'll have to see what happens there if the field gets mixed up again, so that should be exciting. So stay tuned.
Alright, so with the American Grand Prix done and dusted, it is on to the next race in the Formula 2 Championship. Off we go to Spain, to Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Another boring track. That's great. It's another real-life boring racetrack. However, I said the same thing about Paul Ricard, and it turned out to be one of the best races that I have ever seen. So hopefully it turns out to be a good one. Anyway, those two brilliant guys who've been commentating with me all the way throughout, Alcatraz and Dougie Falcons, please give them a massive, massive thanks. I've been the Smeg. Thank you so much for watching, and good night.